guys. It's Wednesday. It's 5:45. That means it's slower flow time. So thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Hi. I hope y'all all are feeling well rested, nourished, taken care of. And if not, then you're in the right place. So I hope we can get there together. And we'll work out kinks, we'll get some circulation going, get all of our systems cleared and feeling good, and hopefully ease on into this evening and ready for bed in a few hours. If you don't have blocks, if you don't have yoga blocks, grab maybe a couple of couch cushions or some books that are a little bit more hefty. If you've got like a dictionary or, one of the later Harry Potter books, those work. Anything that you can use for support. Grab a throw blanket if you have, if you don't have a yoga blanket. See, mine's just simply folded, so you can start with it folded in this rectangular shape. And also, if you have a bolster, you certainly can grab that for extra support. Mine's about this big. I'm not going to be using it for myself probably, but it's always nice to have around, and just in case this is your practice. So if you have a situation where you need extra support and a bolster would be nice, go for it. And then if you have a strap, why not? Why not have everything around you that you might need? Just in case, light your favorite candle, anything to just kind of bring the vibe up a little bit around you so that you signal to yourself that you're shifting into something a little bit different than a different space than where we were previously operating from. And we will get started. So again, thank you for being here. Let's practice. Let's start in child's pose. I want to offer just the option to have your blanket underneath your shins or your knees. So if you want to unfold it to create a soft space for your legs to land. And then reach your arms really, really far ahead of you just before you get settled in. Reach really far, almost kind of like stretching your hips back away from your armpits, away from your fingertips. And then relax. And press your forehead against your mat, just that third eye space. Press it down firmly again, just a little bit of intensity to start with, and then relax. And start to pull in some deeper breaths. Reach over to the right side of your mat. Reach both hands over to the right side of your mat. You can even stack your left palm on top of your right hand. Keep pressing that left hip back towards the heels. And we're stretching the tissues, wrapping around our ribs. We're stretching the tissues of our lungs. And then pass through center. Let's go to the other side. Let's check in on that other lung, stacking the right palm on top of the left. Maybe breathe a little bit deeper for these last few breaths on this right side, opening, feeling that right lung Really expand to the limit on that inhale. Feel it fill way up. And then release the exhale. We'll come back through center. We'll take one more stretch of our hands forward. You can even tent the fingertips here and press down in the fingertips. Lengthen through the arms. Nice. And let's come up to all fours into your tabletop. You can leave the blanket exactly where it is. I'm going to reverse my hands and tabletop so that my fingertips are pointing back towards my knees, but the alignment is much the same as far as the wrists being underneath your shoulders. And then just gently press your hips back. Let the heels of your hands come off the mat. Just gentle presses back. And then we'll come back through the center, fingertips still pointing towards our knees. Let's lift up for a cow. And then exhale, cat. So just notice how that changes the stretch in your back, just having your forearms pressed forward. And then lift up for cow. And drop for cat. One more round, cow. And cat. Right, flip the palms upside down so that the back of the hands are on the mat and then the fingertips are in towards each other. Again, wrists about underneath the shoulders still. And press the fingernails into the mat as you rock side to side. The wrists can hold a lot of congestion. There's lots going on in those bones and all those systems that gather where our hands meet our arms. So it's nice to give them a little bit of attention, especially with all the probably texting and typing we've all been doing. And then make fists. You're going to give yourself a fist bump. And then same, tops of your hands. Keep the knuckles pressed together, tops of the hands on the mat. And then you're going to make some circles with your hips. And these circles probably won't be very big just because this feels funky in your wrists and you don't want to make too many big movements here. And then reverse the circle. Okay, let's sit back onto our heels. Tuck your toes underneath your seat so you're sitting high up on your heels. If this feels like too much for you, you can also stick a block between your feet. And we're just going to take I'll face you. Sit back on your heels and just take your fingers interlaced and kind of wave out your wrists and arms. And then we'll lift our arms overhead. Press your top of the palms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to do something similar with the shoulders. Just dipping back behind the nape of your neck. So I think this is called like flossing out your shoulders. So just that idea of like loosening up those joints, clearing away some blockages, unclogging our system. And then we'll go the other way. My intention for you this evening is to feel like all of your body parts got some love and got some awareness. You'll start to feel your toes opening up a little bit, but you didn't forget about those toes. And then press palms up one more time, maybe back towards the space behind you. Tip your heart up just a little bit. And then we'll release our arms nice and wide. And we're still on the toes. If you'd like to take it up just a little bit of intensity, just for a few more breaths, you can lift your knees. You can balance. And then we'll place hands back down. Come forward. Let's tap out the tops of our feet. Good. Take regular cow. Inhale, chest forward. And then cat, exhale. Cow. And cat. Cow, look up. back into your tabletop. Lift your right arm up behind you, inhale. And then thread it through underneath the left arm. Right ear comes to the mat. And we'll inhale, reach the arm back up. And thread. One more time to lift. And thread, and we'll hold here for about 5 breaths. And if you want, you can extend that left palm forward, almost like in line with your head, tenting the fingertips. And bring the hand back next to your face, press your palm, reach your right arm up one more time. And then come back through to tabletop. Left arm comes right up, reach open. And then thread through. We'll repeat the movement 3 times. Reach up. And through, feeling that ringing out of your spine. Reach up. And through and hold. And this side might feel different or need different things. So reach your right arm towards the top of your mat if that feels okay, but honor the fact that it might not. And then reach the right arm, the right hand comes back towards your face. Lift the left arm up, breathe in, and settle back. Tabletop. This time we're going to come to our heels with our toes untucked, so onto the tops of our feet. Lift the knees just as much as allows. Might not be much. So ankles are similar to wrists in that they can hold a lot of congestion and can get really stiff and stuck easily. So breathing for a few moments in these stretches of the backs of the feet and the fronts of the feet can help clear some of that away. And come forward, tabletop again. Let's take the left knee out, this time towards the side of your space with your shin, with your knee bent so that your shin is like parallel to your body. Like a dog at a fire hydrant. And then we're just going to take some big circles in this joint. So out, and then pull the knee back, and then draw it back in. If you do this long enough, your glutes will start to really fire up, which is a good thing. You need movement and a little bit of that fire to balance the body. And then we'll switch the directions of our circles. Good, and let's hold the left leg out behind you. And then take the toes, kind of catty corner on your mat, your right toes. You're going to lift up into this modified side plank or half moon. And lift your gaze towards your thumb. It's a good thing about having so much connection with the ground as we get to look up and not feel so afraid of falling. Good, and then reach the hand away from the foot. Reach it above your head. Get really long in the left side. Lengthen. And then we'll come down, swoop the arm down. Let's go to the other side. Hip circles out in that fire hydrant position with the right shin. And we'll start those big circles. And then reverse the direction. Really feel that glute working. And this is just a good thing to do to check in with the hip joint as well. And extend the right leg straight behind you this time. Ground through the left hand, open the hips up towards the right side. And take your little plank variation. We want to make sure we're not hanging in that left shoulder or dumping too much into the wrist. I'm going to feel light on that grounded hand. And then start to reach the right arm above your head, like you're trying to get as much space between the palm of the hand and the sole of the foot as you can. Stretch way out. And then swoop the arm down, bring the knee to the blanket or to your mat. Take another big cow just to stretch out. And cat. Cow, breathe in. And tuck your toes. Lift your knees. And we're just going to take it real slow up to this first down dog. So start to lift your hips. Start to sink your ankles back. And then let's measure this out. Pull into a high plank just for a moment. And just notice where your feet naturally want to be, where your hands naturally want to be. And then from there, press back again, downward facing dog. Let's pedal a bit through the heels. Feel that whole line from your sit bones, those hard bones, underneath your glutes, all the way to your Achilles and your heel. Feel that space start to open up a little bit. Maybe your feet feeling a little bit clearer than usual from those preparations that we did. And then round the spine like cat in your down dog and start to draw your chest forward and keep your toes tucked. Let's take an upward facing dog at the top of your mat with toes tucked. And then pull back to downward facing dog. And we'll do that 3 more times. Pull forward like you're a rolling wave towards the shore. Drop your hips, look up. And then roll back. The tide goes out. Then roll forward. And roll back. Settle the heels down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Reach the right leg right up behind you, nice and long. Take a moment, maybe look towards your toes that are lifted or towards your belly button to stretch the back of the neck. And look forward towards your hands, stretch the front of your throat. And then take a giant step forward. We're going to fold at the top of our mat. Left leg comes to meet the right leg. Separate your feet just a little bit and grab your elbows. And bring some movement into your body now that we've kind of assessed how we feel in our first forward fold. We can start to sway a little bit back and forth. You'll notice different areas of the backs of your legs engage and stretch a little bit more as your body rocks back and forth. Then let go of your elbows. Come up to a half lift. Extend your heart forward. And fold down. Exhale. That again. Half lift. Heart pulls forward. And then release over your legs. Half lift. Release. Let go of the crown of your head. Come all the way up to standing. Let's take this slow and roll up, vertebra above vertebra. Head coming up last. At the top of our mat. Finally, draw your hands down by your hips. Let your shoulders pull down your back. And feel just all the little places your feet are standing on your mat. Feel those points of contact. Your heel, big toe mound, pinky toe mound. Slight lift through the arch. Reach your arms up over your head. Let's press palms together at the top, or you can interlace your hands and lean to the right. It's harder to have your palms pressed together, so know if you feel like you're struggling just to keep your palms pressed together, it is harder. And come up through center, and then lean over to the left. See, again, we're stretching those tissues along the right side of our body, our lungs, all those muscles that keep our ribs in place. And then come up through center. Bring hands to heart center. Close your eyes, y'all. Feel yourself in your skin. And then reach both hands up again. Lift your gaze. And then swan dive down. Just slowly fold in half. Come up to a half lift. Breathe in. We're going to take our left leg back to a low lunge. Step it down. Tap the back knee down to your blanket that should already be there. And then you're going to work your right armpit almost on top of your right knee. You'll feel that there's kind of a natural fit right there. And then take a fist into your right hand. And then you're going to use your own knee to excavate and kind of dig around in your armpit. We've got a lot of lymph nodes and a lot of fluid and stuff that can get stuck if we aren't moving as we usually do or moving very much. And it's nice just to kind of roll around on your right knee to flush out the armpit. We can't go get a massage, so we got to do it ourselves, y'all. So really dig into the armpit. Notice if it feels weird, and that's okay if it feels weird. It definitely feels weird to me. Awesome. Okay, let's frame the foot. Draw the hips back, straighten the right leg. Come into a half split. And then let's take some sways. Bring your hands close to your body if you need to for stability. And we're going to take some sways in the hips and our half split. Just because you'll feel the hamstrings stretch differently when there's movement involved in the half split. So just back and forth, back and forth. And then start to bend in the front knee, draw your chest up, let's look up. And then plant your palms, step back, downward facing dog. You can lift the right leg back up again, resetting, and then place it down gently. Take your left leg up. And then again, let's look towards our belly button, stretching the back of our neck. You can look at your lifted toes. And then look forward towards your hands, stretching through the throat, lengthening that left heel back. And then take a huge step forward, and we'll fold at the top. This time, interlace your hands behind your low back. In your fold, if you need to separate your feet for more stability, you can do that. Drop your head as you reach your knuckles up towards the ceiling if you have the space. Don't worry so much about getting your arms completely straight. And then if it feels okay, you can tip the knuckles forward. Opening through the front of the shoulders, upper chest. And then slowly bring the knuckles back towards your back. And then release, drop the hands down, half lift, and fold forward. Half lift, push the backs of your legs back. Feel that increased intensity. And then fold and let it go. Let it soften. Half lift again. Fold, let it soften. Now come all the way up. Big arms. And bring hands to heart center. It's time to take your hands, interlace them behind your low back again. Bring the knuckles as you're interlaced. Your hands are towards your right hip. So bend your elbows. Bring your knuckles towards your right hip. And we're just gonna draw right ear towards our right shoulder. And then lengthen the knuckles straight back behind you. Then come over to the left side. Draw your left ear towards your left shoulder. And the knuckles right behind you. Stretch them down, lift the chest. And release, let them go. Reach your arms up, inhale. Fold in half, exhale. Half lift, breathe in. Go ahead and step the right foot back. Low lunge, tap the back knee down. And then same on this side. Make a fist with your left hand. Take the left armpit into the left knee. Notice there's that natural, just kind of fits right in. And then circle, really dig out your armpit with your knee. There's lots of these natural fits in your body that through yoga, potentially and hopefully, we can bring some of those fits more in alignment, work towards a little bit of symmetry in a very asymmetrical world. And all those lymph nodes, all those channels are getting cleared up, flushed out. Yeah, that feels complete. All right, so unclench your fist, put your hands down, you can tense your fingertips, draw the hips back. And we'll begin with just a few breaths just to feel how we feel here in this shape. And then if you'd like to sway your hips back and forth to get into the different spots in those hamstrings and the back of your knee. Even tiny pulses of your hips back, and then to the right, and then to the left. Just little circles. Okay, bend the knee, come back to the top of your mat. Plant your hands down. I'll step back to the down dog. Lift your left leg up and then drop it down. Pedal through the feet, the heels a few more times. Well, let's take our right palm, flip it up, and take the top of your hand to your low back. And we're going to take this, this 3-point down dog, with our hand behind our back, and try not to lean too far to the left. Just try to keep things nice and stable and even in your down dog, just for another breath. All right, reach the right hand back towards the top of your mat. Take your left palm behind your low back. Try to remain even in your feet and your shoulders. And then release the palm back down, back to your downward facing dog. Roll your body forward to up dog, stretch your heart up, keep your toes tucked, and then back downward facing dog. We're gonna do that 3 more times, just flushing through the system, feeling the whole body integrate. And then draw back. Inhale, roll forward, let that wave. Exhale, draw back. And then 1 more time. Exhale, draw back. Good. Take your right leg up behind you. Bend the knee, open the hip. Take a breath in and breathe out. Feel the inner thighs working to come apart. So you're lifting through the right inner thigh and then drawing down through the left heel, feeling that opening in the groin. And straighten off the legs, square off the hips. Take an inhale, look towards your hands. Step all the way forward, low lunge. Drop the back knee down, lift the right arm up, twist open. And then here you can stay exactly as you are, or you can bend the back knee and reach for the top of the left foot. This is a great place to use your strap as well. This is our first time of really opening through our quads, so take it easy. And lift the gaze up. Just a couple more breaths to allow for the heart to turn open and up. And gently release the foot if you've got it, or take the palm down to the mat. Scoot the right edge of the right foot out so that you can get both hands inside the right foot for a lizard lunge. And we're just going to kind of wander around in our lizard tonight. Again, some circles through the hips. And then reach opposite, so reaching away from the front leg to the catty corner, the left side of your mat, while trying to keep the right knee in alignment with your lizard lunge. Just reaching away from your pelvis. And then press the hands up, come back to a lifted position, and then turning towards the side, lift the left knee off the mat. We're going to take some skandhasanas back and forth. I like to leave my hands on the ground to walk myself back and forth. So you can do that too. Only going as low as feels right for you tonight. And we'll just do one more towards the back of our mat, this time staying at the back of your mat. Rotate towards the back of your mat with your upper body. That's kind of right in here. So both palms into the inside of the left leg. You're back in that lizard lunge position. And then let's wander around a little bit. So draw some little circles with your hips. And then reach out, catty corner, away from your front leg. There we go. And then try, if you feel any tension creeping up where it doesn't belong, in your jaw or in your face, try to release some of that, even as we are in a pretty intense stretch. And look back up onto your palms if you drop down. Come back to that lizard lunge. If you need to adjust your blanket to be under your right knee, do that. And reach the left arm up, twist open. And then either staying here or bending the knee and reaching for that back foot. 2 more breaths just to turn the chest up. And then gently, without slingshotting the foot, release it back. We're going to walk our hands back towards the middle of our mat and take a wide leg forward fold. So your hips are lifted, and just drop your torso between your feet. I like to turn my toes in towards the middle of my mat. Feel like it opens up my outer hips a little bit more. But you do you. You can take your head to your blanket. And if you like, draw the hands between your legs, reach for the space behind you. And start walking your hands forwards. Take a half lift right where we are. Reaching chest forward, tailbone, sits bones, press back. And then engage through your ribs, through your core, lift all the way up to standing, this 5-point star shape. Drop your hips for goddess. And here we're just gonna grab onto our knees with our hips between our knees as best we can. If you need to stay a little bit lifted, absolutely do that. We're just gonna dip our shoulders right and left, just rotating the left shoulder down and then the right. Do a few more sets. See if you can start to work a little deeper in the movement. Back to center, back to your goddess, lift up, 5-point star. Turn both sets of toes forward. I'm gonna fold over for pyramid. Now if you have a couch cushion or a bolster or anything with some heft, a water bottle, you can place those under your hands. Keep drawing the right hip back. Come to a half lift. This is a great spot for a block under your left palm. Take your right arm up, revolve triangle. And we'll start to circle the arm. The right arm, let it go down, swoop down by your front foot, reach forward and then up, and take 3 more of those circles going in this direction. Inhale to lift, exhale to swoop down. And then on the last swoop, place it back. Let's come back through pyramid. Take a half lift, inhale. And then step back, high plank. From high plank to your belly. Cobra pose. Let's take this cobra wide. Tense your fingers, right? Still in line with your shoulders, but probably outside of your mat. Press down in your fingers, lift up. Straighten the elbows as much as you can comfortably. And then lower. And then lift the chest. And lower, starting to work into that extension of the spine. Lift the chest. And lower. One more time. And lower down. Extend the right arm forward. Take your left arm behind you. Capture the left foot if you can. You're going to take a half locust, or a half bow, I guess, position. Lifting, reaching the right arm up, lifting both legs. Kick your left foot into your left hand. And let's breathe for 3. And lower down, gently, gently, gently. Release the left foot. Stretch the left arm towards you, towards the front of your space. and reach for the right foot. And then inhale, lift up. One more breath. Lift up, reach, and lower. Release down. Bend your knees, windshield wiper, back and forth just to release any tension in the low back. And drop the feet down. Cobra pose, lift your chest. And tuck your toes, bend your knees. Let's take puppy pose. Oh, what I love to do, especially if I'm not feeling super flexible, just jetting my back, is to fold up my blanket and lay it, put it underneath my chest so my chest has a soft spot to land. Walk our hands back towards us. Sit back onto your heels once again, up onto your shins. Let's take a gentle camel. You can unfold your blanket, place your knees on your blanket. And I say keep your toes tucked just because that gives you some extra, a little bit of extra push into your feet to keep you stable. Take your palms, place them on your low back, and then barely even suggesting it to your body. You don't want to force anything, just barely suggest the heart to lift. Maybe the head will spill back, maybe not. And slowly come back up. We'll take full child's pose, knees together, untuck your toes. Lay your upper body over your lower body. And let's do it again. Come up. Tuck your toes if you want. Camel pose. And if you have camel pretty solidly and you feel ready, you can reach back for your heels. Keep the heart lifting, keep the heart lifting. And then try not to twist too much as you come up. Just pull your chest up, maybe press your hands back into your low back. And then full child's pose, drape yourself over. Go slow, y'all. And let's come back to hands and knees. Extend your right leg back behind you. And we're gonna take our right knee, and again, just using our own body parts as using them for our own massage. Take your right knee to your left calf, and then kind of like how we were using our knee to dig out our armpits, let's give ourselves a little bit of a acupressure massage here with our right knee into your left calf muscle. And this will probably feel intense just because our knees are bony. You can go all the way down to your ankle. Rub, 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 rub. Yeah, and place the right shin back down. Lift the left leg, extend it back first, and then draw it in towards your right calf. Ooh, and you'll probably feel there's some like sharp, it shouldn't really feel like, you know, not like pain, but definitely sensation, definitely some kind of electricity moving through. It's usually a sign we need this work. Just a few more breaths. We want to be thorough. Want to be thorough, even when it kind of sucks. Good. All right, come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog, hips are high. Let's take our left leg back behind us. We're going to bend the knee and open the hip, just to give this side a little bit of love through this hip opener as well. Stretch the left inner thigh up, anchor the right heel down. Your calves might feel pretty great in down dog now. And straighten and square the hip off. Lift the left leg. Step it forward. Bring the right leg up to meet it, forward fold. Come into a half lift. Take your feet about max distance apart and take Malasana squat. You can also certainly sit up on a bolster or a block here. Just breathing. Tense your fingers onto the floor, lift your hips, fold right here. And then inhale, drop your hips, Malasana. Do that 3 more times, just lossing out the hip joints. And sink back. Come to your seat, easy seat. Easy seat first. Sit on your blanket, let your knees bend as much as feels good, so it can be a little bit of a looser, easy seat as well. You're just coming into a simple twist. Take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh, left hand behind you. And through center, other side. Through center again. Let's take butterfly. And again, the heels can draw in towards your pelvis, but they can stay a little bit looser out. Okay, just grab the ankles or the feet, lift the chest up. And then if you want, you can fold forward. Start to lift the chest into, you can stay exactly in your bound angle, or you can come back to easy seat. We're going to take a little bit of arm stretches. Take your right hand out to the side, left arm up, flip your thumb down, and then bring it behind you so that your palm is out, and then reach the left hand back to attempt to grasp your fingers behind the middle of your back. You can also grab onto your shirt or use your strap here. And just drawing up through the left elbow. Lean to the right side, look up towards your elbow. And back through center. Unwind, reach wide. And then cross your right arm in front of you. Left arm hooks around. Stretching through the outside of the shoulder. And release that. Left arm goes out to the side, right arm goes up. Left thumb's down, reach behind you, and then right arm goes down. Try to make that connection, but don't sweat it if you can't. It'll be next practice. And lean over to the right, reach your right elbow up. And back through center, unwind, cross the opposite elbow or opposite hand in front of you, hook it with your right elbow. And unwind, reach wide, shake it out a little, let's loosen up through there, get some tension flushed out. All right, bring your knees together, shift your seat so that you can lay down long on your mat. I recommend this time placing your blanket at the top of your mat so your head can rest on something soft. Let's take happy baby. And draw the knees in. Drop them over to the left, look right. Draw the knees in, or you can just roll onto the other side. No need to make a big fuss about it. Look over your other shoulder. Start to feel your energy coming down. Not even necessarily that this was a high energy class, but even just from the day itself. As we start to wind down into the evening, the sun setting, it's informing our body that it is time to come into the more lunar part of our day. Bring your knees in towards your forehead. Let's create a bit of tension in this last little connecting pose. Just bringing your face up towards your knees. Fully stretching through the entire spine. One more big squeeze, y'all. And Shavasana. I want you to create your own best Shavasana. Please don't skip this part of your practice, especially as we wind down. Open your arms out to the side or have them on your body. Open your feet out. You can even place blocks underneath your feet or your knees. And then let your awareness, as you lay down, as you release all effort, let your awareness drift through those spaces in our bodies that we cleared, that we flushed, that we unclogged. Just noticing the expansion and the extra space. face goes slack. Maybe your lips even part to allow your jaw to release, your teeth to unclench. This pose, Shavasana, corpse pose, it's the ultimate pose of connection. Because here as we lay, our bodies are fully connected with the ground below us. Our nervous system is soothed because of that connection, just as our nervous systems are soothed when we connect with others in meaningful ways. Even through virtual means. Even if for right now it can't be physical touch or physical connection with your community, we have these moments of connection with ourselves, with the earth, with the fact that we're all the same. The further away we get from connection, the further away we get from the floor, the earth, and each other, the further away our well-being drifts. So especially in times where we might not be getting it physically as much as we usually do with others, we need to carve out the time in our days to feel connected to ourselves. And once we're connected to ourselves, we can then make the realization that we are all connected as one being. You can stay here in this pose of this ultimate grounding and feel that connection for as long as you want. Or if you're ready to wake up from your practice, you can roll onto your side. And let your eyes stay softly closed. Let all that tension stay out of your face and your jaw. And then as you're ready, come up to your seat. You can have your eyes closed or have a soft gaze. Thank y'all so much for coming to practice. And I hope you continue to have a wonderful evening and that you feel how much we care about you and how much we are missing you and how thankful and how grateful we are that you continue to share this practice with us. Please let us know if you need